Welcome to another edition of the Postgame Wrap. I'm Jarret Johnson, and the Red Raiders wrapped the regular season by defeating the Jayhawks 16-13 in a game that was, let's be honest, way too close for comfort. Texas Tech, seemed like, they led for really the entire game, but could never put Kansas away, despite a tremendous effort by Texas Tech's defense. Texas Tech held Kansas to only 214 total yards, only 13 total points, 14 first downs, and 2.9 yards per play. And the Red Raiders were able to run the ball for 310 yards. So you put those together, know who the two teams are, and you really expect for Tech to have really blown out Kansas. A winless Kansas team, a team that's 0-9 now after losing to Tech. But, Texas Tech played an ugly game, especially on offense, but then on special teams as well. The Red Raiders were -4 in the turnover department and missed 3 field goals. I think it's pretty safe to say that if Texas Tech had been playing anyone other than Kansas today, they would have lost. And they probably would have lost by a pretty big margin, to be honest. But the defense, like I said, played great. They didn't come up with the turnover, but they stopped Kansas on 4th down 4 times, including late, in order to end the game, essentially. And Tech was able to just get in the victory formation and kneel down. So, in the turnovers, you'd think, a lot of interceptions. No, it was 3 fumbles and 1 interception. And, Bowman did not have a good game. Alan Bowman, the quarterback, despite, like I said, only turning the ball over 1 time. Alan Bowman finished 15 for 26 for 117 yards and 1 interception with no touchdowns. Really, this game came down to, like I said, Tech's defense playing just exceptional football. The defensive line played very well. Guys like Jalen Hutchings, Tony Bradford, those guys, Devin Drew played really, really well. Tyree Wilson as well. Philip Bleedy is a guy, true freshman, who played well. And then linebackers like Colin Schooler, Krishan Merriweather, Jacob Morgenstern, they all played good football. I think Eric Monroe probably had his best game of the season. He was in on some of those 4th down stops. Thomas Leggett, before he went down with an injury, was also playing very well. And then the cornerbacks, Zach McPherson and DeMarcus Fields, both played a good game. So you got to tip the cap to the defense. Of course, Matt Wells was not there. He tested positive for COVID. Keith Patterson, the defensive coordinator, took over head coaching duties. And obviously, there was no huge blunder of a play or decision, and the defense was the star of the game for Texas Tech. So you got to say Keith Patterson did a good job. And, I asked him about that performance after the game, and he just said, look, bottom line is the guys gave great effort and never gave up. They had a lot of key players like Eli Howard and Rico Jeffers who weren't able to suit up, have been out for a while, and they just keep playing. They keep playing hard. And I mentioned Jacob Morgenstern especially. He said, he was a guy he's really beat up. You could tell, but he just keeps suiting up and he keeps making plays. And on one hand, I'm really disappointed in that this team had to struggle to beat Kansas. It's a bad Kansas team for even Kansas, by their terrible standards. But Texas Tech just kept giving Kansas one opportunity after another, and it almost cost them. But the defense played such a good game, they were able to win it for Texas Tech. So, I don't understand how this offense that put up 44 against Oklahoma State last week in Stillwater could only put up 16 this week, against the Jayhawks. So that's a little confounding. But Keith Patterson, did a pretty good job. Him being head coach didn't stop him from calling a good game on defense. Special teams, they didn't make any big blunders. Chuks Nwaboko had a big punt return early. And then Garrett Bay, he made 3 field goals, but he missed 3 field goals. And one of the field goals he made was actually blocked, deflected into the upright. So Tech won by the slimmest of margins in spite of a lot of mistakes. So they finished the season at 4-6. And, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention there was a lot of chatter about, a coaching change. And to be honest, I'm going to be seeing what happens too. I'll be anxious to see what happens. I would think that the status quo, that Wells would return, given the contracts and all that. But there's a lot of people unhappy with the state of Texas Tech football and Red Raider football, and the coaching staff and all that. So honestly, it's 2020. It's Texas Tech. I wouldn't be surprised by anything. I would say stay tuned inside the Red Raiders for the latest, because I think it could be pretty wild here coming up. But I guess I'll end it with some positivity. The Red Raiders were 4-2 at home, winning record, first winning record in a while at home. That's not bad. That's one of the things they want to do is retake the Jones. It could have been better. Blew that big lead against Texas, but 4-2 at home isn't bad. That's a pretty good record. It's the first, like I said, first winning record in a while for the Red Raiders, and we'll have to see what happens, in the coming days and in the coming weeks. You have the early signing period on December 16th, and like I said, it's posted on Inside the Red Raiders that who's expected to sign this month and who's expected to enroll early in January, and we'll see. No matter what the leadership is, if the Red Raiders can build this offseason and try and improve and try and turn the corner finally, because I know Texas Tech fans they're tired of the losing. They want to start winning again, and it's been a long time. It's been about a decade since Tech has won at any kind of more than mediocre of a level. So we'll see what happens, but it's been fun doing these post-game wraps. This is the 10th, and I think final one, unless Tech gets some miraculous Hail Mary type of a bowl offer, and they take it. So we'll have to see about that. That's still up in the air. That's a possibility, but I really have enjoyed doing these post-game wraps, despite it being very different during the COVID era, and I'll continue to do so for basketball, and I want to thank you all for watching.